Imagine walking into a room and everyone instantly knows not to mess with you. Not because you're loud, not because you're aggressive, but because something about your presence screams danger in the quietest possible way. It's not about being the toughest person in the room. It's about carrying yourself in a way that makes others think twice before testing you. Today, I'm going to reveal 4 specific behaviors that instantly make you look dangerous. And I guarantee you've seen these in action without even realizing it. Stick around because the 4th one is something most people get completely wrong. Let's start with something that might surprise you. The first behavior that makes you look dangerous is controlled silence. Notice I didn't say just being quiet. There's a massive difference between someone who's shy and someone who chooses their words carefully. When you speak less and observe more, people can't read you. They don't know what you're thinking, and that uncertainty creates a psychological edge. Think about the most intimidating people you've ever met. Chances are they weren't running their mouths constantly. They sat back, watched, and only spoke when it mattered. This behavior signals that you're not desperate for validation or attention. You're comfortable in your own skin, and you're processing everything around you. That makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability is one of the most powerful forms of social danger. When you do finally speak, your words carry weight because they're rare. People lean in to listen. They know you're not wasting their time with nonsense. But here's the key. Your silence needs to be calm and deliberate, not awkward or nervous. If you're fidgeting, looking around anxiously, or clearly uncomfortable, silence makes you look weak. But if you're relaxed, maintaining subtle eye contact, and completely unbothered by the quiet, you instantly elevate your presence. Practice this at your next social gathering. Say half as much as you normally would, and watch how people's perception of you changes. The second behavior is something I call emotional flatness in conflict. Now, before you misunderstand, I'm not talking about being emotionless or cold all the time. I'm talking specifically about how you respond when someone tries to provoke you, insult you, or push your buttons. Most people, when they're attacked or challenged, immediately react. Their voice gets louder, their face gets red. They start defending themselves frantically. That's a normal human response, but it's also a sign that someone got to you. It shows they have control over your emotional state. Dangerous people don't give others that power. When someone tries to insult them or start a conflict, they respond with an almost eerie calmness. Their facial expression barely changes. Their voice stays level. They might even smile slightly, not in a mocking way, but in a way that says, "Is that really the best you've got?" This behavior is incredibly disarming because it robs the aggressor of the reaction they wanted. They were trying to throw you off balance, and instead you're standing there like they just told you the weather forecast. This doesn't mean you ignore disrespect or let people walk over you. It means you respond from a place of control rather than emotion. You choose your battles strategically. You address things calmly and directly without giving them the satisfaction of seeing you rattled. The psychological impact of this is enormous. It signals that you've been through things, that you've developed an internal strength that can't be shaken by petty nonsense. And that, my friend, makes you look genuinely dangerous. Now let's talk about the third behavior, and this one is all about physicality. It's the way you move through space. Dangerous people move with purpose. Every step, every gesture, every turn of the head is deliberate and efficient. There's no wasted energy, no nervous movements, no hesitation. When you watch someone who truly carries themselves this way, you'll notice they don't rush unless there's a reason to rush. They don't shuffle or stumble. They don't constantly shift their weight or play with their hands. Their movements are smooth and calculated. This creates an impression of complete physical awareness and control. It suggests you know exactly what your body is capable of, and you're comfortable using it if necessary. You don't need to be built like a bodybuilder for this to work. Some of the most dangerous-looking people are average-sized, but they move like predators, calm and focused. Start paying attention to how you walk. Do you slouch? Do you look at the ground? Do you move quickly and nervously like you're trying to get somewhere before someone notices you? Or do you walk upright, head level, scanning your environment naturally, moving at your own pace regardless of what's happening around you? The difference is night and day. Practice walking slower and more deliberately. Stand still when you talk to people instead of shifting around. When you turn to look at something, turn your whole body, not just your head. These small adjustments completely transform how others perceive your level of threat. And now we get to the fourth and final behavior, the one most people completely misunderstand. It's not what you think. The fourth behavior that makes you look dangerous is selective kindness. Yes, you heard that right. Being kind actually makes you look more dangerous, but only when it's selective and intentional. Here's why this works. When you're kind to everyone all the time, you look like a pushover. People assume you're nice because you're afraid of conflict or desperate to be liked. But when you're selectively kind, when you clearly choose who deserves your respect and warmth, it sends a completely different message. It says you have standards. It says you evaluate people and decide whether they're worth your positive energy. And if they're not, you have no problem withdrawing that kindness without guilt. This behavior is dangerous because it shows you have boundaries and you're willing to enforce them. You're not mean or cruel, but you're also not a doormat. You help people who deserve help. You respect people who earn respect. And everyone else gets polite indifference at best. The truly dangerous part of this is that people can see you being warm and generous with some individuals while being completely cold to others, and they desperately want to be in the first group. It creates social leverage. They know that crossing you means losing access to your positive side, and they've seen enough to know that your positive side is worth having. So there you have it. 4 behaviors that instantly make you look dangerous: controlled silence, emotional flatness in conflict, purposeful movement, and selective kindness. These aren't about being aggressive or trying to intimidate people for no reason. They're about carrying yourself with such complete control and self-awareness that others naturally recognize you as someone who shouldn't be tested. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 behaviors do you already use? And which one are you going to start working on today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, true danger isn't loud. It's quiet, controlled, and impossible to ignore.